There are lots and lots of approximation techniques. People have written whole books and many, many papers about what the right ways to approximate things are. And if you use one technique versus another, it can make it much faster with the trade-off of accuracy, and you have to make the decision. The technique we're going to talk about today is called piecewise linear approximation. So they tell us that people your age interpret caps as shouting and we should avoid them. Is that true? Or can I type this in all caps?
You can type in all caps.
Okay. I'm not trying to shout at you. I'm just trying to emphasize this. Piecewise linear approximation. What does piecewise linear approximation mean? It means I take whatever my arbitrary, complicated, incredibly gnarly thing is, and I try to make it so that I chop it up into pieces, and each piece is a line. And we said last time, in theory at least, we know how to compute lines. And in theory, we could figure out how to program a computer to compute lines. So this is going to be really fast. And I want to show you an example of what this looks like. Actually, this is something that's incredibly common. So I'm wondering if y'all would be willing to try to find one and send it to me. The idea is you're taking an arbitrarily complicated curve like this, and you're identifying points that fit on the curve. Okay, here's a point, 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 here's a point. You're creating like a mesh or a backbone. And how many mesh points you need depends. Okay? But then you're going to replace each, instead of using the original curve in red, you're going to use this blue curve. You see these purple points against this red background? You're going to say, I'm going to just fit lines between these points. And then I just connect the points up between the lines. So the original curve in red is my original function. I picked pink mesh points, they're called, or different people have different names for them. Some people call them control points, I think, in engineering. And then I have my blue piecewise linear approximation. Does this make sense? Do you see what I'm saying here? So I have a new function that's a bunch of lines. And it fits, it's close to the original curve. Now there's error. If I wanted to use this technique, what could I do to reduce the error?
Use more mesh points.
Yes, yes. Had you seen this idea before and you knew that already, or you just saw that?
I don't know. It's kind of like a connect the dots or like subdivision in computer animation.
It's probably exactly like a connect the dots animation and subdivision in computer animation. Although I don't know enough about that topic to say that for sure, it sounds very plausible that that's piecewise linear approximation. If it's not, it's piecewise something approximation. Now I have a moral dilemma as the instructor, which is I see it's time to go. And do I use this opportunity to see if y'all have learned your lesson about telling me when it's time for class to be over? Like if I just keep talking, will anyone warn me that it's time for class to be over?
I didn't want to be that guy, but I was about to say something.
Please be that person.
I honestly think we're conditioned to not say anything in class because if we talk about it, our teachers from the past would be upset at us for talking about it. So
Bell doesn't dismiss you, I do.
basically.
Yeah.
Well, in this class and in this class, you are adults. You make your decisions about your bodies and minds. I'm not trying to be dismissive of what any of you just said, but that's not. I really don't think that philosophy of education is okay because it's really there's already a power imbalance that exists, but that should not be exploited. Does that make sense? Like
Also, this was interesting. So
say that again. I'm sorry.
I said this was interesting, so I didn't really want to interrupt it.
Yeah, so I appreciate all of your feedback about why you're reluctant to tell me that class is over or that the screen isn't showing. But I really, so I personally think it shows more respect to tell someone when they are making a mistake. Like if one of your friends was walking around with something on their face, you would tell them, right? And I'm not saying that we're going to have a peer relationship because I don't think that's appropriate. We will never, ever text each other. But you should not be afraid. I do not want you to be afraid to tell me what you think, because I think that the ability to offer candid, your honest viewpoint shows much more respect. Does that make sense? And I'm not going to tell you what you should or shouldn't do, because again, that's your decision. But this is my preference, that you be willing to let me know these things. And I'm sorry that you had the education experience that it's not okay to say such things. I personally don't think it's okay to create an environment where it's not okay to say such things. So that's my classroom philosophy. And just practice it. Will someone tell me that class is over?
The class is over.
Class is over.
Thank you. All right. Y'all have a good one. I'll see you Monday.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Have a good day, Mr. Penland.
Have a good day.
So just to make sure, you want us to just kind of email you a piecewise approximation?
If you find an image of a piecewise approximation that you like, send me one. Yeah.
Could we make one up if we wanted to as well?
Yeah, make one up. That's awesome.
All right. Thank you. Have a good day.
Yep.